Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Frog Wrestling. It is the last show before the free preview, which is happening next week. And oh man, am I excited for that free preview. It's gonna be awesome. How awesome is it gonna be? We're gonna find out tonight, because tonight is all about filling in those missing bits of information. We know that all the titles are going to be on the line, but who's going to be challenging for all the belts? We know for some, we know Scott is going to be putting his Frog Pants title on the line against myself. We don't know what the situation is with the Dragon Beef Championship now, because it was going to be me versus Ben. That has now been postponed, or I don't know. We're going to have to find out. Check out your Pawn News update on Monday. Probably get into that there. But we need to know who's going to be challenging for the tag titles, who's going to be challenging for the women's championship, and we have a good old-fashioned grudge match. Because speaking of the champion Scott Johnson, he issued multiple challenges in his video this past Monday. One of them was to Marc Spagnuolo, who managed to successfully pin Scott in the Elimination Chamber last week. It is the first time Scott has been pinned in a long time, and Scott's looking for a little payback. Should Marc be worried, or has Marc really got Scott's number? And this is maybe an omen of things to come coming up next week. So we are going to get right into it, because we got a busy night tonight. In fact, for our tag team division, they got an extra busy night tonight, because I have decided, so I teased that we were going to do a 4-way tag elimination match. I've decided instead to do a mini tournament all tonight. We are going to do 2 tag team elimination matches, and whichever teams win both of those matches are going to compete in a final later tonight. So there's going to be 3 tag matches tonight. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be really good. And that's what we're opening with. Now, I know all you people who like to bet your points love when I do this. But so far, there are only 2 confirmed tag team participants that have entered, officially registered. We know that, obviously, Garrett and Kyle from GG, they are one of the most prolific tag teams, short of the champions themselves, are entering. We now also know that the Mod Syndicate is going to be entering. It's either going to be Ben and Tanner, or, maybe Tom and Ben, considering, lately Tanner's been getting excluded, even going after the Dragon Beef Championship himself. So who knows what that relationship's like at the moment. But we don't know who the other 2 teams are. So prediction-wise, you're going to love this. I'm not going to tell you who's going to be in these first 2 matches. It's going to be the Mod Syndicate versus the Challengers. And you're going to have to use whatever deductive reasoning you have on who they might be fighting to make your bet. Or, because I give you 5 minutes, maybe wait until they're coming to the ring and then place your bet then. Might be a good idea with that. But, enough from me. Let's get right into it. We got a match to watch. I'm excited for it. I hope you're all excited for it too, as we continue to build to next week's free preview 3, I think officially. Let's just get right into it. I'll start the prediction right now. Again, it's going to be Mod Syndicate versus Challengers. Who could those challengers be? We have 2 mystery challengers tonight. 2 mystery challenger teams, I should say. We'll find out. We'll find out right now. Here we go. We're getting right into it tonight. Also curious what's going to happen with Ben's Dragon Beef Championship. Especially if Mod Syndicate's entering in this, you have to assume Ben's going to be a part of that team, unless it's Tanner and Tom. And no, there it is. There's your answer, folks. Tanner once again left on the sidelines as Tom Merritt chooses to instead bring his protege, Ben, to the ring. We have seen this relationship form. It has created a angrier, more vicious Ben. But the gold around Ben's waist tells the tale. It has certainly worked out well for Ben. And if he wins this, he might be pulling double duty, although maybe he doesn't think he has to defend the Dragon Beef Championship. John stepped out of that competition. Maybe Ben's feeling secure he can go after tag titles now. It is true, chat. Tom Merritt, fresh off of watching some BlizzCon K-pop, certainly going to be more energized than before. And all right, it looks like Brian Ibbott is coming out. Brian Ibbott, not currently associated with any tag team. So the question is definitely who is going to be Brian Ibbott's partner. If Brian Ibbott swings your vote, there's still time to put points down. But we don't know who Brian Ibbott's partner is going to be here for this this team up. Brian Ibbott certainly, he has a history with the titles. He was the original TMS tag title holder.
And from Phoenix, Arizona, weighing in at 300 pounds.
And there it is. Tanner Goodman coming out against his Mod Syndicate allies.
Right here. Careful, Corey. You keep thinking like that, you might start to like him.
And if that isn't a clear resignation, I don't know what is.
He's physically and mentally prepared for the task at hand in this big-time match.
And when you think about it, this kind of makes a level of sense. If anybody knows about his teams leaving him in the dust, it's Brian Ibbott. They have certainly formed an interesting alliance here. And Ben immediately going to work, going after Tanner for this betrayal. Tom, meanwhile, going up against Brian Ibbott. Certainly animosity between both of these. Looks like Ben is fighting. He's no longer going Super Saiyan. Ben using his own powers. Tom Merritt goes for a tap out attempt on Brian Ibbott. Keep in mind that these are elimination matches. So if someone is pinned or taps, the match will continue as a 2v1. Ben going for a pin right now, establishing it. Ref to the outside. A very slow attempt at a count. Ben's probably not happy about that. Tom Merritt now going for a pin attempt. Another slow move. Typically, we think the Mod Syndicate pays off the refs, but right now, Mod Syndicate suffering at the hands of the ref. Tom Merritt throws Ibbott outside of the ring, and right now, Mod Syndicate has been very dominant in this match. Maybe this was not the best way to tell them you were retiring. Keep in mind, these matches are no DQ. Pins do count anywhere. You can pin your opponent outside of the ring. They can tap out outside of the ring, which Tanner right now is putting to the test on Ben, though he has managed to escape. People say Ben looks like he's wrestling in whitey tighties. This is what a lot of wrestlers wear, these kinds of outfits, and this is what happens when it's a friend I'm comfortable enough to put in tighty whitey wrestling tights. I'm not willing to do this to most people, but Ben, I'll put him in tighty whiteys if I want. I also did it to Bo and Scott, but they literally asked for it. Tanner, oh my gosh, going to work with a chair. And tables have certainly turned. Or maybe I should say chairs have turned. Ben's very happy. He says he looks good. I don't blame Ben. Look, Ben, if I looked like you do, I'd probably walk around in my my underwear as well. And right now, the team of Brian Ibbott and Tanner Goodman have certainly shifted the focus of this. Splitting up again, although Ben recovers and catches Tanner the moment he heads back into the ring. And Tanner with a roll-up gets a 1 from it. Although on the outside of the ring, Brian Ibbott doing serious work to Tom Merritt. Tanner right now working on Ben. Whichever team... Oh, there's a roll-up from Tom Merritt. The ref takes a minute to notice it. And doesn't even get a 1. I don't think the ref was even ready for that. And Coverville. And the Coverville knocked out Tom Merritt. I have turned down knockouts for tag matches. Just FYI, everybody. Knockouts can happen. And that, the Coverville, flat knocked out Tom Merritt, who has now been eliminated, and we are now at a 2v1. There's a pin attempt on a ladder. Ben kicks out, but he is in a bad situation. It is now a race between Brian Ibbott and Tanner Goodman to see who can do the most damage. Ben may try to recover. He may be able to pull off a miracle here, but that is exactly what it would be at this stage. A miracle. These elimination matches, very hard to recover from. Oh, Ben with a good reversal, though, puts Tanner down, now focusing on Brian Ibbott. And these are exactly the moments that can shift it. While one person is down, it turns into a temporary 1v1. And you can get away with some real good things. There's a pinfall. Brian Ibbott waiting, having faith that Tanner's going to kick out. Oh my gosh, and a brutal throw from Tanner, who's going to go for a pinfall. Threw Ben right into that barricade. Only gets a 1 count, though. Testament to the resilience of Ben. That is why he is the Dragon Beef champion. Tanner mocking Ben while Brian Ibbott just goes to work here. Oh, and he drops him on the stairs and the railing. And I think the ladder, too. I think that's a trifecta there. And this beatdown maybe tells the story. Oh my gosh, Ben ducks the punch from Brian Ibbott and gets some stairs in his face. And he's still not done, manages a move, and there's the Coverville. Brian Ibbott lands the Coverville, and Tanner says no, he wants more. You can take Tanner out of the Mod Syndicate, but you can't take the Mod Syndicate out of Tanner. He's not done. And this could prove to be a mistake, as it has given Ben a chance to fight back while Brian Ibbott is distracted. Giant clubbing blow to Tanner. He falls right on the stairs. And Ben trying to find some moment to get an offensive move in and just doesn't find it. He's back in the ring. Brian Ibbott back out. Tanner hyping up the crowd. Ben trying to get to his feet, not ready. Tanner's got him up. Ben escapes though, plants him with the DDT. And Brian Ibbott coming in with a stop sign. And there it is. Ben knocked out as Tanner takes Ben down face first into that stop sign. Almost poetic, that. The match stopped the moment his head hit it.
Here are your winners.
That's your winner, folks, outlasting all other superstars in this match.
I was so impressed with how well these guys adapted to the Tornado Tag Team.
And what an impressive statement for a debut team of Brian Ibbott and Tanner Goodman. We will see more of them later tonight, as they are now going to face whoever wins the next tag team elimination match to determine who's going to be fighting Patrick and Randy. So, going to look forward to that coming up, but a great first showing for that team. Let's see what we've got coming up next here. So up next is our next tag team elimination style match. It's going to see Garrett and Kyle again versus challengers. We don't know who is entering. I expect it to be just as vicious, just as crazy, and we will see what Garrett and Kyle can do. It's been a lot of attempts. They've not been able to dethrone Patrick and Randy, but they are not giving it up. The power of friendship continues to drive them. And we're going to have to see how this all goes. So let me get that poll started here while I set up the match. Again, you're only going to see one. It's going to be Garrett and Kyle versus challengers. I know you all love it. We're gonna do it. All right, let's see what we got here. Just setting it up. All right, entrance is on. I think we're all ready. Them dice rolls. I don't know. You never know. When it just says challengers, you never know. Who would have thought Tanner was going to betray the Mod Syndicate tonight, go into business for himself? You never know. You never know what to expect. You never know what to expect, but I think some people might be able to predict this one. Whoop, I hit the wrong button. Let's see what we got.
They are ready for a fight.
What if Scott and Brian try to take him on? I will say this for anybody that's expecting a surprise Scott and Brian Dunaway. Scott already has a match tonight, and Brian Dunaway is out injured. I think it's somewhat ironic that with the last name Goodman, he betrayed his comrades. Yeah, but his comrades were bad guys, you guys. It reminds you that the Mod Syndicate are not kind dudes.
The tension building for this match is so thick you can cut it with a knife. A lot of drama involved with this one.
I mean, the mod Syndicate have been pretty terrible to everyone, but I do think that that's a decent point to say that them being mean to Scott is not necessarily the worst thing. All right, let's find out who is challenging Garrett and Kyle. It is certainly a dramatic entrance.
And their opponents, at a combined weight of 606 pounds,
As soon as you said it, Crushinator, chat made one guess and it was correct, which was really impressive. Actually, no, they made two. But this was one of the first guesses I saw, and man, kudos to you for guessing it. Nash Magard of the Solar Mines and Varel Rasvim Kurik, the heroes of the Waste. They don't get involved often, but they're getting involved tonight. And this might be, if they win this whole thing, this might be one of the most Heroes of the Waste. There will be Dungeons-centric pay-per-views, free previews, sorry, that we've ever done. Because Hope could potentially win to challenge for the Women's Championship. Nash and Varel could potentially win to challenge for the Tag Championships. And this could really be a big week, 2 weeks, for There Will Be Dungeons. We just need Stanley to take my spot against Scott. I mean, yeah. Maybe Stanley can take my spot against Ben. I gave up my spot against Ben to fight Scott, so maybe we should just give it to Stanley instead. All right, we are underway, and right now, GG not wanting to be taken down by fictional characters, although Kyle's certainly having a harder time against Varel. And understandable, Kyle created Varel. It's got to be hard to fight against something you've created. And maybe smartly, Kyle decides to go up against Nash instead.
You know, a Falls Count Anywhere match is a really exciting opportunity. It really allows you to get creative and take the action to somewhere you have the
And
advantage.
Varel looking at steel steps. Kyle playing little games with Varel. He would know Varel's weaknesses, but right now he's becoming all too aware of Varel's strengths. Meanwhile, Nash putting up a fight against Garrett in the ring. Kyle and Varel still going at it. Certainly the two strongest powerhouses of their respective teams. Meanwhile, the faster, more agile members fighting in the ring. And Varel taunting Kyle at this point. And Varel just shrugging it off. Garrett doing very well in the ring against Nash. Not enough, although I think Nash is bleeding. Nash manages a roll up, seeing if he can get Garrett. He can't. But Nash is continuing to run wild. I've never seen this sort of energy out of Nash. Unless there was something he could lick. Meanwhile, Kyle going to town on Varel, and there's the A move. Garrett lands the A move in the middle of the ring and only gets a 2 count. That move has put away so many people. You gotta at least respect the effort of Nash to be able to kick out of that. Garrett has Nash up, slams him down. Another pin attempt in the middle of the ring, gets the 3. And while Garrett distracts Varel on the outside, Garrett has turned this into a 2v1 at the expense of Nash Magard of the Solar Mines. And now we're going to see the GG teamwork come out in full effect as Garrett and Kyle focus on the big lizard man. Kyle's struggling with a table. It's understandable. Anybody who plays D&D knows the problems with tables and what they can cause.
How long it's taken for the damage to really set in for them in a match like
Meanwhile,
this.
Garrett now working on Varel and plants the A move for a knockout victory. Varel is out. And that's the end of it. A very quick and decisive victory for Grinding Gear. Garrett once again showing the power of the A move, his finisher, as he had put away both Nash Magard and then knocked out Varel with that. And because I forgot to change their victory, they are now going to do the victory that Nash and Varel would have done. But this time it's Garrett and Kyle. Impressive. Yeah, Kyle, look, it doesn't matter how you win necessarily. Kyle was absolutely a distraction in that match, to be clear. But it worked. It 100% worked and got them a strong victory on the back of that. Absolutely great. We're going to be seeing more of them tonight. They are not done. They're probably going to be grateful for the fast victory because they now are going to have to face off against Brian Ibbett and Tanner Goodman at the end of the night in that final match to determine who's going to challenge for the championship next week. So, yeah, I mean, you say distraction, I say tank. That's a fair point. Kyle certainly tanked that. That actually sounds insulting. He was a tank. He was a great tank. He was a great, effective tank. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. Well, last week we had something unheard of happen around here. We saw our champion, Scott Johnson, the type of person that sends challenges in Fargo DVD cases. We saw him defeated at the hands of Marc Spagnuolo. And we're going to see if his luck holds. Scott challenged both Marc. He didn't really challenge Bo, but he definitely talked some trash on Bo. And he challenged myself. And tonight, in a non-title match, this is important to say, we are going to see if Marc Spagnuolo, if it was a fluke, or if he can do it again. Is this the beginning of the end of Scott Johnson's reign in Frog Wrestling? Is this the point where we identify the weakness in Scott to be exploited by John next week? Or are we going to see Scott continue to dominate as he usually does?
The following contest is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring, representing DIY.
Marc Spagnuolo has not had the most impressive career, but he has certainly had some amazing wins. A dominating victory over Bo Schwartz. One of the only people to pin Scott Johnson in months. But for every victory he's had, equally rough losses. Matches he should have won that he didn't quite pull out the victory. Scott says it was a fluke. Scott says in a fair fight, Marc stands no chance against him. Marc is looking to prove that wrong right now. Keep in mind, this match is a non-title match. But you do have to believe, if Marc wins this match, he immediately puts himself in the top running for whoever wins next week. And maybe he does regardless. But he does have to go against the champion. He does have to go against Scott Johnson. And let me just be clear. Scott Johnson, I nerfed him a little. Not a lot. He was ranked 99 power, the highest power level in the game. He is still ranked 99 power. I buffed his punch, and I gave him a little nerf to some of his other stats. Not enough to move the power needle, but will it be enough? Will it be enough for Marc to get a win here tonight? We're gonna have to see. I know, everybody, he's nerfed. It's not a big nerf. Usually once you start doing significant nerfs, that power level drops quick, but he's still a 99. I think he's shaken. I think the nerf reflects his shaken attitude after getting pinned last week. He's very confident, but he hasn't been pinned in so long. Now it's happened. And now I think he does have some doubts that he can do it. And Marc immediately coming out to capitalize on it, certainly showing a level of overconfidence, thinking he can give Scott a lecture. Scott says no, and a series of punches, but a good reversal from Marc. And Scott waiting for him to come back in. Goes for, nope, not a roll-up. Thought it was. Turns it into a bit of a suplex, and Scott quickly in control of the match. Yeah, instantly using those buffed punches. Yeah, he is. And Marc down on his back. Scott in control. And if you were worried that Scott lacked any confidence, I think he's putting that to rest right now, as he is dominating this match so far. Gets a 2 count off of that. And Marc says, I'm getting out of here. I need to take a breather. He's waiting for Scott on the outside, though. Smart. Knew Scott was going to follow him and was waiting. Scott says, nope, I'll fight you out here too. And I'll tell you, because I am him, John is watching this match very carefully, because John has fought Scott before. He's lost. Everybody who has fought Scott in singles matches for the title have lost. It has never gone well. Scott with another attempt at a pin gets a 1 count off of it. And Scott, feeling the frustration, definitely trying to take back control of the match. They collide, not ready for that. And Marc gonna capitalize on the whoops, gets him up. Big power slam, drops him right in the middle of the ring, and Marc now getting a little bit of control. Wabbit Magic, thank you for the sub. Appreciate you. And Marc with a vicious kick to the head, building a little momentum of his own, managing to get a little bit of control. He's got Scott up, showing that power, and drops him down. A vicious slam, that could be enough. Gets a 2 count, but an impressive 2 count. Marc can't believe that Scott kicked out of it. And look at the power of Marc Spagnuolo, lifting him right off the ground and dropping him down. And Marc taunting the champion, ready for him. Scott reverses it though, and Scott catches his breath, gets a moment, waiting for Marc on the outside, knocks him out.
Taking it outside the ring now.
Oh, series of blows. Marc was ready for him, and a vicious uppercut. Scott looking to recover. And so far, Marc definitely hanging in into the fight better than most. Scott coming back in. Marc's ready for him, though. Let's see what he plans to do. He goes for that lumberjacked kick. That's what put Scott down last week. But Scott dodges it, ready for it. And Scott going for a pin. Ref taking a moment, only gets a 1 count, probably would have been a 2. A bit of a slow count from the referee tonight. And now Scott showing his power as he just picks Marc up and tosses him. Focus on that hand. Marc has taken a lot of damage to his body, and Scott is calling for it. He's ready, he's in position. He goes for the spear, but Marc reverses it and kicks Scott in the head. And that's a potential problem. Scott was ready to end the match right there, but Marc with a clutch reversal and a massive clubbing blow, chopping Scott down just like a tree. He's got him up and drops him. Scott drilled, that could be it. No, only gets a 2 count, and Scott kicks out. And now Marc's the one taunting him, daring him to get up. And now Marc knocks him back outside of the ring. And right now, the momentum is certainly, oh, it's shifting. The second I said it, it shifted. No, another clutch reversal. Marc escapes. There's the lumberjacked kick. But Scott is outside of the ring. He can't pin him out here. Maybe he doesn't want to. Maybe he's just going to go for a count-out victory. But he is definitely damaging the champ. Scott goes for a massive punch, another dodge, and another reversal from Scott. They're at 5. Now Scott doing damage. A massive series of punches to the face as the ref gets the count to 6. And Scott's still not done. Oh, he throws Marc back in the ring. Scott needs to get into, gets in with plenty of time to spare. But Scott going for a pin. Marc hasn't moved since that offense. Enough time has passed though. Marc kicks out at 1. Scott's still in strong control at the moment. Whips Marc into the corner. There's the punch. And the TMS in the middle of the ring. He gets only 2. Marc is still in this. Somehow Marc has kicked out of the TMS. And Scott cannot believe it. He goes for a punch. Marc dodges. Oh my goodness, and Marc Spagnuolo is not letting Scott off that easy. He is fighting back hard. He wants this victory. He wants it bad. And Scott reeling, not able to find the steam. And Marc chasing after him. They are back outside the ring. And Marc has the crowd behind him in a big way. Massive blows.
And he tosses it back in now.
Throws him back in the ring. Scott hurting. We haven't seen Scott in this position in a long time. Marc just sizing him up. I think he He is 100% sure he has it. And there it is, the lumberjacked kick. That's the move that put Scott away. And he does it again. Scott taken down by Marc Spagnuolo. An incredible showing.
Here is your winner, Wood, Wickheiser,
Marc fought through it. A level of resiliency I cannot believe. Scott shaken. Forgive the pun, shaken to his core as he suffers his first one-on-one loss in a long time. A long, long time. My goodness. And if you were John, and I am, that has got to feel hopeful, because Scott in every match has dominated, absolutely crushed every opponent until just that match. And maybe John stands a chance, but at the same time, as much hope as that match might have given John, I think that also is going to be very scary, because whoever wins that match, be it Scott, be it John, it is safe to say that Marc Spagnuolo is waiting in the wings to face whoever wins next week. And that, after that showing, I don't even want to imagine how vicious a fight that is going to be. What a match, everybody. We are going to go from that. It is time. It is time, everybody. We are going to see the final match in our women's random match type tournament to determine who will be challenging next week for the women's championship. We are down to our final round. We are going to see Kim Johnson versus Hope Akmenos. And we are going to, we don't know the match type yet. I'm going to go ahead and put the poll up. You can make your votes. But I will tell you, once I know what the match type is, we don't know what kind of match this is going to be just yet. So let's get to it. There it is. And as soon as I know the match type, oh no. I didn't know this was a possibility. Oh no. This is an Iron Man match. I don't know what the game's default rules for Iron Man matches are. I don't know how long this is going to be. I don't know what the game defaults to for an Iron Man match. I really hope it's not an hour. We're going to be settling in for a while. I didn't know that that was a possibility. Does anybody know what the time limit they set for an Iron Man match is? Is it an hour? Well, regardless, I mean, look, if you're watching this on YouTube as a VOD, you know, mouse down and look, do we have like another hour of this? Then you know what the answer is right now. For those of us live, I don't know what we're gonna see. Yeah, typically an Iron Man match is the most pinfalls in an hour. Now, they have done 30 minutes, and maybe for a video game, they don't do it for as long, because I know typically the video games shorten the timers on things. I don't know what we're gonna get. But we are going to see Kim versus Hope Akmenos in what might be the greatest lesson to not do random match type tournaments in my entire life. I mean, look, it should be a great match. It should be interesting. We will go along with it. Yeah, the 2 minutes from the Elimination Chamber match last week, that was, I think, like a minute, if that. Who knows? We're going to find out. We're going to find out what it's going to be. People are guessing 10 minutes max. We're going to see. We're going to have to see what happens. Look, Iron Man matches are traditionally very good. Go watch historically any Iron Man match, and I guarantee you see a wonderful match. Can we bet on the match time too? I would, but we'll know by the time I could set it up. 15 minutes is a guess I'm seeing. $15 minutes. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. The most pinfalls in 15 minutes. That is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So this is the way Iron Man matches work now that I know. They are going to fight for the next 15 minutes. During that time, they can get pinfalls, they can get submissions. Whoever gets the most in that 15 minutes is going to be considered the winner. So getting pinned isn't necessarily the end of the world in this type of match, but we're going to have to see. Now, so far, Hope has really come out with a strong offense. I did say this could be a huge win for the Heroes of the Waste. Unfortunately, we did see Nash and Varel eliminated from the tag tournament in the second round, but Hope can still redeem it. They are outside of the ring. A count-out victory would be a point here.
What's this gonna be? Wheelbarrow, flapjack, face first.
And Hope right now in absolute dominating control. Gonna do that maneuver again. It looked painful the first time. It has to hurt the second. And Hope spent a little too long showboating. Underestimate Kim Johnson at your own risk. She popped back up quickly. Hope definitely not ready for it, although they do need to get in the ring. The ref count is at 8. And Kim realizes it. She must have heard it. She dives in the ring and gonna go for a count out point. Although Hope got to get to her feet. She's running. She makes it just before the 10 count. And Hope gonna make Kim pay for it. Kim was ready to just watch the count happen. Definitely had confidence that she had that.
Impressive reversal there.
And Hope in control of the match again after a brief bit of offense from Kim Johnson. Now Hope in control. Has Kim up. Oh, and hits every rope on the way down. Here's our first pinfall attempt, and Kim manages to grab the ropes. Hang in there. Rope breaks still absolutely prevent a pinfall, but Hope is sizing her up and is ready to get her. And another pinfall attempt. The ref in position only gets a 2. And we are still at a 0-0 for pinfalls, but Hope certainly building momentum for herself. After a little showboating, Hope sees an opportunity to do more damage. Definitely waited too long. If you have time to showboat, they have time to wake up. You gotta be careful. And now Kim in control of the match. But a good reversal from Hope. She's fighting back. And there, those horns, that's absolutely a brutal maneuver from Hope. And she is in control. I don't think this is what Kim expected. Kim, usually one of our top competitors. But Hope dealing a lot of damage and has been in complete control. She is taunting Kim, daring her to get up, and Kim moves. Has been the story of this match, waiting just a little too long, giving Kim a little too much time to recover. And now Kim dealing out some damage of her own on the outside there. Kim real excited about that maneuver, but Hope back to her feet during the celebration. And maybe they're going to go for another count out. They are not afraid to fight away from the ring, fighting up on that ramp. You can basically choose if you want to land on concrete or metal right now, and I wouldn't want to land on any of it.
Quick reversal and sent crashing.
Back and forth.
Ref is up to 6. We might see our first point from a count out. Kim goes to run back into the ring and Hope stops her. They're both running.
She's into the ring again.
Turned into a race. Hope in first. And Kim in quickly with a strong recovery, going for a pinfall. And a kick out. Our first 5 minutes is up. So far, 0-0, no pinfalls. As we enter, as we finish our first third of the match, and there's a submission maneuver. Now, that's a metal arm, but the shoulder is flesh and blood and capable of feeling pain. And another big slam. Hope's got her down. And there's our first pinfall. Hope now up 1-0 after the first third of this Iron Man match. And Hope is taking a breather. She's now in a good position. All she needs to do is not get pinned. But there is still 2/3 of the match to go. Kim with a good reversal. A roll up. Lifts her up. Slams her back down. Not that the roll up would have mattered outside the ring anyway. So a good decision. Deal a little bit more damage. And gets her in a leg lock. Releases. Tapping out there I don't think would matter. I think it has to be in the ring. Throws her into the barricade. And Kim, a little bit of a mock there. Now, more pressure on those shoulders. Again, people make jokes about the robot arm, but the shoulder's still gonna feel it at the end of the day, and holding the weight of a robot arm, it's gonna feel it even more. There's a reversal. Big delay. They're at 8. Kim down on the outside. And Hope resets the count. She almost could have gotten another point there. Maybe a bit of a mistake. Now, she might have not thought that there was any way that Kim would have gotten counted out, but she did have an opportunity to secure a bit of a victory there, although certainly doing work in the ring. And Hope is running wild. No, big reversal from Kim. I thought Hope was in absolute control of that. Kim ready for another reversal though. And Hope right back in control of this match. And if she gets ahead by 2, Kim is going to have a maybe insurmountable mountain to climb here. And Hope goes from one high-risk corner to another. She's looking to do it again. What an impressive move. Going for another pin on Kim. And secures it. Hope now up 2-0. And if Kim is going to have any chance at winning this match, she is going to need to get at least 2 pins to stay in it in the next 6 minutes and 3 to win. But Hope gets it, gets another one. Hope absolutely leveling Kim at the moment. She has all the momentum in the world. There's a reversal, a roll up. Kim could really use that, but Hope manages to get free at 1.
Can this ref even count to 3?
Kim with a good reversal. She's got a lot of work to do in 6 minutes. She is going to need to get a pinfall very soon if she's going to have any chance here. Kim doing good, dealing damage, but she does need to pick up a victory. A count out would be nice, but that's a lot of wasted seconds when Kim has to get 3 pinfalls. That's just to even it up. Driving Hope into the barricade, taunting. I don't think Kim has time for this. She is going to get back in the ring, smart. But she does need to get a pinfall. We are down to the final third for this match, the final 5 minutes. And Hope is currently up 3-0. Kim putting in a fight. Slams Hope down, hoping to get at least 1. And she does. We've got a 3-1, but Kim needs to work fast. This might do it, though. A submission hold on that shoulder. There's a tap, and we are at 2-3 with 4 minutes left to go. Kim using that momentum, keeping the pressure on Hope. And Hope goes from well ahead to now in trouble as Kim is eyeing her. Hope escapes. Kim was looking for another pinfall there. Hope manages a reversal. She needed that to stay alive. Kim fighting back though. It looked like it was over, but we are still in the midst of it. A good reversal. Hope going for another pin, trying to get that lead even further. Only gets a 2 count though.
Time to pull out all the stops. Firm control.
And Hope now back in control of the match, dealing damage. Kim has to get 1 more pin if she's going to even it up, but Hope is ready. She's waiting for Kim to stand, looking to do something crazy. There it is, but she did not get all of her, landed mostly on her butt. Both competitors hurt. The count has begun. And it is close. Hope gets back in before Kim can do anything. Kim ready for her, though. Gonna build a bit of an offense. I thought she was gonna go for a pin, but she does let her stand. Kim needs to do a little bit more damage, I guess, if she thinks she's gonna put Hope down. But a lot more pressure on that arm. And we saw a submission move from Kim for one of those points. Those submission moves are gonna work in her favor. She's gotta keep the pressure up, though. And there's another pin attempt to even it up. And she gets it. And with that, we are tied. 3-3. Hope on the ground, but she dodges. And we have 2 minutes. Hope going for another pinfall. No, Kim kicks out. We are tied up. All the pressure here. Hope trying, after having a commanding lead for most of the match, desperately trying to get back ahead. Submission move. If Kim taps, that's going to be a point.
Oh, she gonna tap.
Is she going to do it, or is she going to escape?
Tap out.
Abdominal stretch.
No, Kim reverses. No tap, no point, and Kim back in control. And there it is, another submission maneuver. She's been working that arm, and there's a tap. We are now at 4-3. Kim has come back and has now taken the lead with 1 minute 15 seconds to go. And Kim, eyeballing hope. She wants to secure this. She wants to be 2 points ahead, and she's ready to do it. Another pinfall. And she does it with less than a minute left. Hope has to get 2 points on the board. She dumps Kim over the top. But seconds are ticking away. And Mrs. Hope. I don't know if she has enough time to do it. She's trying. Oh, there is not time for this, Hope. She is mocking Kim from the outside. But you can't waste those precious seconds at this point. She's got her up. She's got her down. I don't think she has enough time. She's waiting. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Hope in control at the end. But she was too far behind to get it. And what an absolutely incredible match. I told y'all, Iron Man matches are good. They are absolutely great. I was worried we were going to be here for an hour, but they are absolutely awesome matches. And what a match. Kim Johnson with an incredible comeback for a victory there.
Here is your winner, the Queen Johnson.
And it is Kim who is going to be challenging Jocelyn next week at the free preview. And I don't know, I like this match type so much, you guys. You think we should do this as our match type? I think that would be fun. What a spectacular match. Very, very impressive. That was a great match. If I knew that match was going to be that good, that would have absolutely been our main event tonight. But I was worried it was going to be a over in 2 minutes ladder match. So here we are. We have one more match tonight to do. Let me get it ready here. And usually I copy the names for the polls, but because I only said challenger today, I didn't have Brian Ibbett and Tanner's name ready to go. All right, we are to the final match of the evening. We need to determine who is going to be challenging Patrick Beja and Randy Jordan for the Tag Team Championship, which means we have one more tag team elimination match to go. Now, earlier tonight, we saw Brian Ibbett and Tanner Goodman go up against the Mod Syndicate and win. We saw the Grinding Gear team of Garrett Weinzierl and Kyle Ferguson go up against the Heroes of the Waste, and they were victorious. Now, our two victorious teams are going to face each other to determine who is going to be going up against the champs next week. Let's find out together who's going to win. I don't know. Garrett and Kyle are an impressive force. They have not been able to beat Patrick and Randy, but they are really good. But coming out before them, we have our new team. Not named, a new partnership. The team of Tanner Goodman and Brian Ibbett.
Is a tornado tag team match. Introducing first, from Denver, Colorado, weighing in at 230 pounds, Marvelous Brian.
The feeling, the electricity in the arena right now is unlike anything I've ever felt in quite some time.
Yeah, just a reminder to people, Arizona does not do daylight savings time. We don't change our clocks. I wanted to keep doing this at the same time, which means the show until the next time you all change your clocks. Everything's going to be an hour earlier. We're going to be starting at 4 p.m. Pacific time. I know you all know now, I did say on Twitter, I know not everybody uses the platform anymore, but I did say, I said earlier today. And look, that's the benefit is next week's the free preview. Next week's the big week you want to be on time. So this was a trial. You mean X? No, I mean Twitter. I called it what I wanted. You can call things what you want. If somebody can call it X, I can call it Twitter. Zwitter. you can call it Zwitter. It's hard to say, but you can call it that.
This is a match he's craved for quite some time. He's ready.
Tanner, this earlier tonight, for those of you just joining because daylight savings, Tanner cut ties with the mod Syndicate. He is now a free agent, although working with Brian Ibbett here. And we're going to see if they can beat the team of GG. Grinding Gear. I mean, look, I've been hyping the free preview because I think the free preview is going to be awesome. But the past two matches, I don't know how anything on the free preview is going to compare to those. Those were great matches. They were really, really good. And I will say this about the tag matches, because the other matches we did were tag matches. I think these are a lot more entertaining than the tag matches of old. I might get rid of the elimination rule, because when it becomes a 2v1, I don't know if there's really a point where it becomes interesting. But we'll see. Yeah, the free preview price is great. You just have to show up. It's real good. And maybe a testament to how evenly matched these teams are. The points not very one-sided. Points definitely favoring Grinding Gear, which is not surprising. They are an established tag team. They have a history. But Tanner and Brian certainly did a lot in their first match.
But not always, Cole. If your opponent keeps attacking, there's nowhere in the arena that's safe. Speaking of which, we're not exactly out of harm's way either. I can't count how many times we've caught a superstar in our lap at these things. Oh, Byron, you're not exactly good at counting anything, but not to mention all the...
It is true, Scott did win the 2v1, but that was a 2v1 tag match. So maybe that's the way to do it if you're going to do elimination. Right now, Grinding Gear in control. And looks like they're going to use a similar tactic to what they did last time. Kyle tanking Brian on the outside while Garrett goes to work on the inside. And this is the same methodology that they used against the Heroes of the Waste earlier. Oh, and Garrett, high risk maneuver, and he pays with his face. Tanner quick to capitalize, just tossing him. Meanwhile, Brian on the other side in control. Tanner going for an early pinfall. Only gets a 2 count. I didn't know. For a minute, I was hanging onto the edge of my seat there. After Garrett flew out of the ring head first, I thought maybe a 3 count was possible. Kyle back in control in the ring. Tanner still going to town on Garrett on the outside. Garrett was definitely the MVP of his match. He has not found the same momentum in this one. And we got to be careful of knockouts because so far knockouts have been extraordinarily dominant. Maybe that's the solution. Maybe I just need to turn knockouts on tag matches and we can do it. And Brian Ibbett going to town on Kyle. Meanwhile, Garrett just gets tossed. Garrett quickly back to his feet, but Tanner ready for him. And Tanner drops him face first, nearly hitting that ladder. Speaking of knocking someone out, that would probably do it. Right now, Grinding Gear in a bit of trouble, although Kyle drops Brian Ibbett headfirst on that ladder. Ooh. Tanner introduces Garrett to some stairs. And right now, a lot of even trades back and forth, but I think Brian and Tanner definitely ahead as far as dealing out the damage here. Garrett fighting back, but Kyle out on his feet at the moment. But what a move from Garrett, and that's the danger. Now Garrett going after both Tanner and Brian Ibbett. They answered in kind, though. And Grinding Gear having a hard time finding momentum right now. Garrett out on his feet. Kyle. Tanner just threatened to punch Garrett if he didn't wake up. The poor ref's in danger. He escapes. And right now, Tanner and Garrett are being foiled by some stairs on the ground. It's been a long night for these guys. I'll point out this is their second match of the evening. And stairs will foil you, you know? Oh, somebody's busted open. I think it was Garrett, although he is fighting back. I do think he's bleeding, and he's grabbing some stairs. Oh, he put him down. Garrett continues to be foiled by stairs. There's a count over in the corner. Only gets a 2 count. And the ref hung in there despite having Brian Ibbett thrown into him while he was counting. Oh, now Brian Ibbett is bleeding. We got blood all over the place. Bunch of missed punches. It's looking a little silly. I think Kyle might have accidentally just punched Garrett. This is why people don't usually wrestle 2 matches in one night. It just gets funny. Right now, Grinding Gear managing to do a bit of damage, managing to hold their own, and Garrett ejects Brian Ibbett. And the momentum completely shifted now. Nope, Tanner in control on the outside, and he manages to get his, I think it was the banhammer on Kyle. Only gets a 2 count, though. Meanwhile, Brian Ibbett is waiting to hit Garrett with some stairs. It worked. I didn't know if that was going to work. It worked. And both of GG just tossed into the ring at the same time. Garrett, though, there it is. The A move, it put away so many people, but Brian Ibbott manages to kick out, and Tanner answers with a kick. The A move usually is the death knell for an opponent. Didn't put Brian Ibbott away, though. And Tanner watching Brian Ibbott get carried to the corner, waiting. Kyle ready for him, though. And Brian Ibbott and Tanner have been ejected. Kyle and Garrett decide to go and work together. The ref, with the longest run to get into position I've ever seen. I think, oh, Kyle eliminated. I think he got punched in the nuts. I think Kyle got knocked unconscious from getting hitting the balls. I don't know what's happened in the end here, but things have gotten a little crazy. Is this gonna be it? It is. Look, I wouldn't want to keep wrestling if I got hit in the balls either. I'm just saying I didn't see it, but all of a sudden Kyle was eliminated and he was holding his crotch, and, you know, mad respect to him for saying, nope, I'm done. But that is going to be a victory for Tanner and Brian Ibbott. They are going to go on to challenge for the Tag Team Championship next week. They have got to be feeling good about this. Tanner has got to be feeling like breaking free of the Mod Syndicate was the right call. Absolutely. He is now already in the title picture. Great teamwork from them. And what a night of matches it was. We now know what next week's match lineup is going to be for the most part. So let's talk about what we know just to close, just to get a little more hype for next week's free preview. We now know that Brian Ibbott and Tanner Goodman are going to be challenging for the TMS Tag Team Championship. We now know that Kim Johnson is going to be challenging Jocelyn Kearney for the Women's Championship. And because everybody said yes, it's going to be an Iron Man match. We know that we are going to see Scott Johnson put the Frog Pants Championship on the line against John Jagger in our main event. We also revealed that we are going to be doing Money in the Bank briefcase matches. They're going to be battle royales. If you watched the last Pawn News update, we're going to be doing 2 battle royales to determine who is going to be the new briefcase holder for the Women's Championship, but also we are going to be debuting the Men's Championship Money in the Bank briefcase battle royale, which means that whoever has that can at any point demand a title match from whoever may be the Frog Pants champion. And you can bet Marc Spagnuolo going to be in that match. The only thing that we don't know about next week at this point is what is going on with the Dragon Beef Championship. Now, originally we had a elimination chamber match to determine who would be challenging Ben. John won that match, but after accepting Scott's challenge, John dropped out of that race to enter the main title picture. And we don't know who is going to be challenging Ben for that title. I would recommend watching the Pawn News update this week to find out exactly what's going to be happening there. That is going to do it for us this week, though. Remember, next week, 4 p.m. Pacific, right here on twitch.tv/craftlessrogue. That's where you can catch the free preview live. If you're watching this on VOD, make sure you give it a like. Make sure you subscribe. And thank you so much, everybody, for being here, for all the subs, for all the follows, for everything that's been going on. It's been a fantastic night. You've all been fantastic. And I look forward to doing this again in 1 week. I appreciate you all. Have a great night. Till next time. Bye, everybody.